All right, let's go to the running backs here, Lawrence. Kareem Hunt against the Chargers, a season-low 3.5 points last week with Isaiah Pacheco back. But Kareem Hunt, he was getting usage. He got some touches in this game, but really nothing going on the ground or through the air.
Yeah, see, the thing you worry about here is how much more will Isaiah Pacheco get in the next few weeks here. They're bringing him along slowly. Kareem Hunt played a season-low 40% snap rate. You see it there on the screen. In any other game, in his previous 7 games with the Chiefs, he had played at least 55% of the snaps there. So that's a huge number that you definitely got to look at. Isaiah Pacheco, we didn't expect him to get anything close to a full workload in his first week back off the injured leg. So I'm going to close it out this week, mainly because I think we all expect for Isaiah Pacheco to get closer to what he once was.
Yeah, Matthew, on top of that, this could be an ugly division game against a scrappy Chargers team.
For sure. I'm also closing it out. I'm similar to my man Lawrence there as well. I think the key that you saw there was 7 carries for each of Hunt and Pacheco was close to 50 yards, and Kareem Hunt had 15 yards. 7 rushes, 15 yards. In the same matchup, in the same game, they got the same number of rush attempts, and Pacheco looked like Pacheco, and honestly, Kareem Hunt looked like Kareem Hunt, right? He's averaged 4 yards per carry, 6 of the last 8 games. He's had 162 rushes. Get this, guys. Kareem Hunt's had 162 rushes this entire season. Only 2 of them have gained 15 or more yards. This is just somebody who he's just plodding. He's slow. There's a reason he was on the couch. He had fantasy value because he's playing on the Chiefs, who are always a threat. And when you're playing the Chiefs defensively, you're like, we've got to make sure we protect against Mahomes going deep on us. So there were probably some open running lanes there for Kareem Hunt. And he's just not – he was just getting volume. And with Pacheco back, there's no way he's getting volume. So you're like, okay, he's not getting volume, and he's not particularly effective, so you're hoping he falls into the end zone. He's my running back 30 this week. I'm closing it out. We expect a bigger workload for Isaiah Pacheco as the Chiefs gear up for their playoff run.
Our last running back on the list here, Chuba Hubbard against that tough Eagles front. We got to hear from Chuba this week and after the game on that brutal overtime fumble against the Bucs that ultimately cost the Panthers the game. Take a listen.
Obviously a horrible way to lose, but all I can do is own it, so get better from it. I mean, everybody's had my back, lifted me up, supported me, but at the end of the day, I hold myself to a high standard, and you know, we're trying to change things here, and that's not helping with anything. So I got to be better, like I said, and all I can do is just work. It happened. I just got to grow from it and keep moving forward. I'm not going to have my head down. I'm just going to keep doing what I always do, and that's work hard.
Matthew, the good news is in this backfield, Chuba Hubbard gets the big payday for what he's done all year. The bad news is not a team you want to see in the Eagles, and the rookie Jonathan Brooks is healthy and starting to eat into the workload here. Can you still start Chuba?
Yes and no. I'm fence sitting. I'm going to fence hit here, Connor. I'm going to be completely honest here. So I'm going to keep it open, right? He's going to be my running back 24. I'm keeping him open very, very reluctantly. I'm keeping it open just because 6 teams on a bye and he should get a decent workload here. But by the way, when my hate list comes out tomorrow, pretty good chance Chuba Hubbard is on it because he hasn't been outside my top 20 in a long, long time. But you mentioned the 2 issues there. Jonathan Brooks, not only is he eating into the workload, but productive. They got 3 goal-to-go carries last week, the Panthers did, and Jonathan Brooks got 2 of them. Goal-to-go touches, I should say. You're seeing he's involved in the passing game despite the lesser workload. As you saw, I think, almost like basically 20% of the snaps. And he still had the better fantasy day than Chuba Hubbard did last week since week 4. And then you mentioned the matchup with the Eagles, right? Since week 4. Here's the entire list of running backs to rush for more than 63 yards. 63 yards ain't all that much, right? Here's the entire list of running backs to run for more than 63 yards against the Philadelphia Eagles. Derrick Henry, Kyren Williams. We like Chuba Hubbard, but he ain't Derrick Henry, he ain't Kyren Williams, and those 2 guys don't really have any competition for touches. All of a sudden, Jonathan Brooks eating into Hubbard's workload. Eagles allow the 5th fewest fantasy points to opposing running backs. I have Hubbard as a risky flex. I'm keeping it open only because there's 6 teams on a bye. But in a normal week, he'd be a close it out. And just understand, if you start Chuba Hubbard, again, I'm keeping him open, but I am fence sitting here. If you're keeping it open, just be aware, be prepared for this being an ugly day fantasy-wise.
I would say this. You mentioned the 6 buys there, Matthew. I would say keep it open if you have players like Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, Brian Robinson, hell, even Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah. If you have any of those running backs, you have to keep it open. Again, like Matthew said, this is a particular situation where we wouldn't be rushing to, start a running back who's going up against this Eagles defense or, got another running back cutting into the touches. So because of that, we have to keep it open.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotorworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.